Hi, this is Nina Get Real. This is Saturday, and my work got canceled. And I was last weekend. It got canceled for 3 days. Actually, the day it got canceled, I was already working, and I didn't get the email till I couldn't do my call report for the job. This weekend got canceled. Next weekend got canceled, and then the next weekend, the 17th or something, the 18th. They added a couple events to that, but it's gonna pay less. And then this event Monday was not canceled. So as of last week, when I looked at my schedule, I had the last week in June to the end of August, or at least to the 20 something of August. I had 1 6-hour shift. And my other job, they have two people that they just brought in to do the job that I do, so my hours are really low. And um, my income got messed up because of the something got deleted in the computer. So I had got like this raised before minimum wage went up, and then it went down, and then minimum wage went up, and it actually, they said it actually went up. It was only like a few cents, but they said it wasn't going to be much of anything if that glitch didn't happen. But it should be more. It should be at least $1 more, and they said we're not going to do anything for you for $1 more. I work my own businesses, and they're money losers. And when I make money, it's because I'm struggling to make ends meet when my jobs get canceled. Because I don't have regular work, and when that happens, I still don't make enough to make a living. So it's not like you can do experiment. Oh, my work got canceled for 5 weeks. Let's work from home and see if we can bring in at least that amount of income that got canceled. I have never been able to do that. If I knew how to do that, then I wouldn't be working with other people. Um, if if I could work for the other people when I first started when I got my clinic office location, when I worked for other people and for myself, it started to balance out because I had this regular schedule, and then I worked my business all around that, and it got better. The only issue is I was still in school, and I was attending births, and I was volunteering and doing this and doing that. So it was a mess outside of those hours. But as far as income, with the one job where it was $15 an hour, and that was a few years in 2014, it was it was still not enough to pay my rent, but it was pretty daggone close. So basically, if I got a tax return or any money, which I don't really get birthday gifts, somebody, even if my kids got birthday money, which sucks, they can't buy a gift, I ended up putting in the bank, and then that money, say my rent was $880, and I earned that month $840 or $760, I'd have to take the birthday money or quarters or whatever, and so it still wasn't enough. And you have utilities, you have for my license, I just paid $500 yesterday for a partial payment of my clinic insurance, and it's getting to be fall, winter, when I gotta do the CEs, when I gotta do my license renewal. I just did a $700 something bill for my clinic's DEA, and I think, I'm not sure what was going on January, not January 2017. So a year ago would be July 2017. They hired another lady at work. The hours already got reduced, but then they hired another lady. So, and then they were giving her all my work except for a little bit. And it was an old blonde lady who wouldn't go to work. And I thought, she's not even, like, they kept spying on her because she was messing up. And then they still gave her all my work, which is really weird. And I was like, oh, she told me how privileged she was and how she gets what she wants and how she doesn't have to try. Like, she was telling me all of how her life has been, all of her life. And I didn't do anything wrong. I kept getting like really good reviews, and I ended up I'm gonna call someone from the job, and I ended up being told by the supervisor position people, like, dude, why haven't you been promoted yet? Like, why? Like, and I'm just like, they're like, we're going to make sure to write that down. I had 3 different people say the same thing on different reviews. Even on days I was flaky. There's one day I was really flaky and my relative called and woke me up. I didn't sleep well. I think I was at a birth. Something happened. I didn't sleep well and the phones were ringing at 6 something in the morning and I had to work that day. And it was like, I thought I blocked them from my phone. I forgot, or they used a different phone or cell phone or something. I was like, oh crap. So I got on the computer to block it because the kids were sleeping, I was sleeping, and we all had to work. It was me and my daughter. And then something I was trying to print the night before, the computer froze. So I got on the computer to block the calls so that from all of their different numbers, so that the kids wouldn't, I was already up, so the kids wouldn't get woke up. And I think the kids were sleeping on the couch next to the printer. There's 2 couches. And what happened, 6 something in the morning, I got on the computer. My computer's really slow. I ended up typing in to my phone to block numbers so the phone won't ring. And my computer picked up where it left off the night before, and it started printing a bunch of stuff. And my kid was like, "Oh, that phone!" And there's days when we just work, and everyone's at school. You got to drive far away, or walk, or do this, and then it's like you finally get a day where you think you're gonna sleep till 7 or 8 a.m. and you're just like, we live in a noisy neighborhood, and you're just like, boom. I want to call these 2 people. And then the other thing is, I was trying to think a year ago, and I wasn't making anything with my business. It was just the math was how much did you lose this month? How much did you lose this month? And then people are like, why are you a physician and you never made a dime off? Like, I never made a dime off the business. Like, why are you not making money? Like, and they're like, why are you not working with someone? Why isn't somebody helping you? Why isn't somebody like holding your hand and like at least letting you cry on their shoulder? Like, I'm just like, I don't know, because nobody likes me. Which is, if you see my videos, it's like a really lonely world. But I keep myself occupied, and so it ends up. The rent review people, my relative gave me some money in like 2012 or 2013 or 2014, and they tried to say that I was still getting this money that I received while I was a student. I was like, no, I'm not a student. I don't have the money. I don't even have the bank account. And they proceeded to subsidize rent, charge me that and the money I had when I was making $15 an hour, which is still low, but I was not working as a physician yet. I had just graduated 3 days before, so I didn't have the license, so it was a different job. And I ended up, and it was part-time, so they were trying to like combine the 2 incomes. And then the first month I worked, it was a on-call position, so I didn't have I didn't really have any hours. So the first month I had like full time. So that's where they, like, if you getting help, that's where they can get you like, oh, you worked $15 an hour times 40 hours a week. Like, but it's like, dude, it's on cost. So I didn't even have to pay for a parking pass. It was 0 to 5 hours a week after that month, or that because they got a lot to train me so that I knew what I was doing, because I was on call in order to cover other people that were full-time employees. So I needed to train under those people, and then not train under them. And then that job went to a different position, which is basically a lower level position, but it was 20 hours a week, and they said they were able to give me the same pay. So it's like, I will take it, because ultimately it's guaranteed hours. So then I start paying the parking pass, and I got laid off after the car accident, and they passively fired everybody or laid people off who refused to leave. And that led, it smells so good in my house. I made all this food for my kids. I got some flax seeds soaking in a jar for myself. So then I had unemployment, and my last check was, I believe, $13, and I did a rent review, which is supposed to be subsidized 33% of your income. they charged me $870 for rent, and my income was zero. I couldn't find a job. My business, I was working with unemployment agency on self-employment. They refused to give me unemployment benefits because I was finishing like 5 births I had to do, and they said that you're not willing to work. But it's like, even if I wasn't the lead on a birth, you can make several $100s. Some people will get close to $1,000 attending a birth. And I'd also become a doula, which I would be doing my self-employment, not as an assistant. Somebody called to. So that, like, why do you want people to keep taking your tax money? And it wasn't like I had years left to do it. It was like a couple days over the course of the next, like, 9 months, literally, like, 9 months. And I'd worked all the way through from the full-time to the on-call to the other thing and gone to school. I never missed any work for being on call for births as a student. I called in one day when I was a doula trainee, so it wasn't for the midwifery training, which was basically externship, non-paid. I was doing a doula, and my client had a serious emergency, and I did not go to work that day, and that was the only day, because we end up in the OR. That was the only day in over 2 years that I missed. I don't even think I missed class, test, work. We'd have patient appointments. You'd wash up and change your clothes and put deodorant on and brush your teeth and leave the birth and go. Because typically they happen at night, and I didn't have nighttime jobs. I had like 9 to 5. So I didn't miss. There's one day I did come straight from a birth, and and these people at the front desk were laughing at me. That kind of stuff sticks with me. So maybe my rent in 2016 went to like it was like 600 something or 700. Then it went to like almost 900. Then it went back to like 814. And all this time, my income it ended up last year, not counting my business because that's a negative number. It ended up being $8,000 last year. $8,000. My rent is subsidized. You do the math there. That's not even $1,000 a month. And they raised my rent. My daughter's a full-time student. They're not really supposed to count her income. And they didn't count. They had my rent at almost $900, and I didn't even make $900 a month. And then it went from that to, did I say 900? Then it went to, I can't remember, it changes so much. I can't remember what it was in August. Oh, 800 something, then it was 900 and something. Which my hours at both jobs I worked for other people went down, and my clinic has received like nothing. I got a little bit of a check from some stuff from 2017 that was not filled out all the way, and they counted that in my rent review as something that I got from. So say I got 0, and then I did 5 different billing before the year was up, and say they gave me $30 for each person. So it's gonna look like, oh, the 30 times 5. Oh, you make more money. I was like, that's from last year, and it's not like they can say, I'm gonna charge you rent, because when I do the review the next month, you could be making $1,000 a day and still be paying the same rent. Like, technically, you're gonna report it, but technically speaking, the lease hasn't changed that next day. You're not gonna say, oh, my income went up $1,000 one day, and my rent review came in yesterday. Let me just voluntarily write a check. Of course, you send them a check stub and say, is this consistent or not? But it takes a while for it to go up. And so last week they sent a letter saying, so the rent went up again in July 1st. And then last week I got a letter saying it's going up in August to like 1,000. This is low for considering where I live, but it's supposed to be based off your income. And today I got a letter that says your rent is going to be almost $1,600. And me and my daughter don't even make that much money. Like if we could scrape together every penny, like, so it's like if like 3 months ago, and the other manager tried to charge me the extra rent like 4 months ago, so I had a credit of 2 months of increase. So say 5 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, actually it was like 3 months ago, my rent was, I think it was 7 something, or was it 8 something, and then it goes to 1,600. It's doubled. My rent doubled in like 3 months. I think it's, yeah, three, because July 1st it should have gone up. So June, and then July, August, September. So, so in June, my rent was once, and now it's double. And it's like, I wish, like, it might be a couple dozen dollars or less. I don't even want to look at it. My income has dropped. My vending job, something happened with one of the events types we were doing, and they all got canceled. Like 100% of them got canceled, and they threw some hours at me. I don't even know where they managed to find those for food demos for $13 an hour, and it's not many hours. So even if I had all the hours that I used to have for that job and my other job were I make pizza, and my business brought in at least the rent, but then you have the rent, you have at least $1,000 a month for the business. So my credit card was getting ready to be maxed out, and I was making $1.50 more than minimum wage. And at the beginning of summer, and the minimum wage went up, and it ended up 50 cents above it. Like it didn't go up with minimum wage, and they added some stuff. They did add two things. So I had like $800 that I needed. Oh crap! I can't do Monday and Tuesday. Oh crap! So they added 3 days. So that's not gonna. That's right at the end of the month. That's not gonna get her. So basically, I was checking this before I put my foot in my mouth. Basically, when I did the math, it was close to $800 that got cut out of my schedule from one job, and I didn't do the math on the other one because I was filling a position that they were trying to hire somebody in, and now they hired and brought back a college student. So they hired one new person, and another person's going to do that job too. So instead of me being the only one, it's going to be like 5 of us, and that's, oh my god, that's so weird. That sucks. I'm going to get more of this. I'm not going to buy anything. My son wants his own spray though. I'm gonna go out to the store and get that stuff. I don't care. I'm so like freaking out. And then what happened was I just got that letter, and I told my daughter, I was like, "You're a full-time college student. You just got a car." I looked last night, and I forgot that I had my car insurance go up. So when I got the junior management position, I also got a driving code for Pizza Hut, and I had to drive. And my insurance, I call them, and they say, "Oh yeah, we'll give you, your bill's not due yet. We'll give you a month of coverage, but you're not going to get charged for it until the bill comes in July. So you have until July 1st to cancel it." I go, "Yeah, because I don't know if I'm going to do a couple of runs and not drive or what." So they raised my insurance to drive, and I've only driven like 5 or less times. And some of the times I got no tips, and I'm like, "Oh crap!" I also got a pay cut when I clocked in that way, and I got the driver code because I was a manager, but then I get the lower pay if I clock in, and it's not worth it because then there's no guarantee you're going to get tips. So basically you'd be better off saying no, and any tips, if I were to receive, would be freaking not even cover the amount per month my insurance went up. So I'm like, really, it'd be different if you do that 5 days a week or 4 days a week, and you got paydays and holidays and drunk people and it waxes and wanes around holidays and vacation, but when you're sporadic, it's like there's no, like, people don't necessarily always value black women either, so it's like you can see sometimes how certain people can be rude and slop stuff around and yell and cuss on the phone, and then they still get over $5 a tip for something that costs $12 or something, and you're like, wow. And then I can be like super polite, and then you're like, they don't even leave their penny on the counter. Like, you don't want it to be rude, like they don't even leave you a dime or anything, and you're like, oh, I'm sad. But I felt like this week, I go, this is a disparity. Just be yourself and trust in God. And then what happened after that is I ended up trying to figure out. Like, I thought maybe I could drive more, but then they hired a bunch of more people and lost my code, and they didn't fix it. So if something were to happen on the clock, I need to be on the clock. Because if something were to happen, maybe somebody like dinged my car, like I hope that doesn't happen, or something happened with property damage or something, car rolled down a hill. God, I hope those later. Like, I need to be clocked on as a driver so that when if the insurance were to ask, which they probably will, for any information they can, that you would be able to provide that information that you were indeed working, that you weren't just running errands or playing. I don't know how to explain it, but when I got in a car accident, everything was legit. They still screwed me over big time, and they actually give more money to people that didn't get hurt than me that's been damaged for life, and that really, again, the people who make the decisions. I was the only black person in the room, and a female at that, and they were confused. They were trying to get me at talking about stuff and thinking that I'm trying to scam them because of my education, and they don't know that I'm completely honest. So it sucked to be trying to have them think that I'm hoodlum trying to lie to them or something. And I just looked last night because my daughter bought a car. She has a learner's permit, and right now the car was a good deal, but the guy's like, oh, I would consider not getting that car as it's going to be a lot to insure. Now it's a Kia. Part of the reason Kia is a lot to insure because it keeps value after years. And no, that's my opinion. But it was more, he made me a list of cars that would be a lot cheaper to insure. And they were cars that I didn't want my kid driving for ethical and reliability reasons. So some of those cars I had before, I was in the shop all the time. I'd rather pay more than have to sit in the shop or on the side of the road waiting for a AAA to come. And so I added that, and then I added the work insurance for the driver job, and then I didn't really get any chance to drive, and now it's after July, so I can't cancel it. I could probably cancel it, but I still have to pay that bill. And then if they randomly call me to drive one day, because I can be called in, I sign a paper that they could be called in and not get paid extra, then I would be like, oh, let me call the insurance company real fast and re-sign up. Like, I don't want to go back and forth. I just want to have it, pay the bill, and budget, and hope, like, you're basically just paying, like, it's basically the car is paying for itself. It's like it'd be one thing if you worked, and it sucks if you worked and 75% of your income goes to your rent and your utilities, and you had some money to buy socks and clothing for work and gas for the car and toilet paper. But when over 100% of your income goes to rent, it's like, I did this before. I scrambled and I freaked out. The next thing after that is getting that letter today, and last night staying up late for trying to get my son his debit card. We don't know if we ever get. He had 2 debit cards, so one was for online, and we would just put a little bit of money on it because we don't know what kids are doing. Like 12-year-olds are doing, or 12, 13. And we had another card that was like linked to an actual checking account that you're going to use for the rest of your life, and that could potentially be like, not saying that you're going to want either card to be hacked, or but your kid, you don't want your kid to be like, oh, this is connected to my college saving. Let me drain it all and buy this game on Steam or whatever. Like, you're just like, what happened to that money? Like, I was going to use that for rent on account of my rent went up ridiculously. So they cut that card off this summer. They cut it off because they discontinued the program. And he was using that card for years. And since my daughter's out and about, she had both. Um, one for internet safety and one for um, general usage, food, whatever. Go use the ATM. And she was out and about more than my son. So what ended up happening was she ended up saying, oh, well, I'm not going to use that card anymore. And they sent a check because I forgot to deposit money. And then my son wasn't able to use the card. So because he couldn't buy certain things for holidays, my other kid bought a gift card for a birthday, and I felt really bad because like, then you got to pay $5-6 to activate it, and you're like, oh, I'm wasting money. Which is why the banker at the time told me to get the youth cash card because it would be refillable. It would be refillable. It was great. It was great. And then we went so far. I'm gonna move some files off of my phone right now, and I'm gonna go to the store. Um, I wasn't gonna do this, but I'm just gonna go. Dear God, please forgive me. So then I looked at my insurance and I was like, did I forget to pay last month? I was like, wait, no, I called because I forgot to pay for the next day I got late fee and I was like, oh crap. And I was like, oh no, because there's 2 cars. And they said the first 3 years she gets a learner's permit and then a driver's license, she's going to be I don't know, some ridiculous number, like double or triple what I'm already paying for my car insurance. So right now with the learner's permit, she's going to still have it because the card is worth something, but it's not going to triple until she passes and gets her license. So I'm really freaked out. I'm like, you need to save up. Like, I'm going to work as much as I can so I can pay rent, and then you're going to have to help with the car, the gas, the repairs, and the insurance. And I said, well, I'll keep you posted, but we need to budget our money. And I didn't want to bother her about that because when I got the job in the Pizza Hut, I couldn't afford rent for January, and my income had gone down, and the lady was bragging, oh, I have so many hours and so many stores and blah, 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 and I just freaked out about, those were my hours, what are you doing? And it's all the jobs where they do that to me. It's like, I was like, should I do unemployment? Like, part of me is like, you should have just stopped claiming unemployment. And this job will take hours away and put them back on, and you cannot budget around it. Same with self-employment. I cannot budget around it, so you hustle harder. Hustle harder. And I'm just exhausted. My throat is scratchy. I'm not eating chocolate for at least 3 days. I might quit powdered cocoa indefinitely. I still have like a whole half a bag of it. I can make the kids a cake. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I might actually make them a test cake because you can cook it. It's raw. That's a symbol of my getting away. So the rent doubled in about 3 months' time, and I have income decrease and the cost of running my business. So I had a $500 bill I paid yesterday, almost $800, $732 from the DEA. I put that on the credit card that's due in 9 days, next week or whatever. My hours got reduced at both jobs, and because people see me with the Pizza Hut uniform, then they are like, oh, she doesn't work as a doctor anymore, and so all of my patients are going somewhere else. So because I'm so poor and working all these jobs, I lost even more money, which I would make more per hour. I might not even out to more if I had to sit at home doing reports all day. But the actual hours that I see patients, if you get paid that certain amount, and you can start streamlining your business and getting things done faster. That's all going down the toilet. And the fees that I pay are needed to accept insurance. All of this. And then my license is the bare minimum that you need if you're like cash only or whatever. But the bare minimum stuff that I need to even accept payment is like thousands and thousands of dollars a year. Whether you make a penny, zero, $2,000 a year, 3,000. So I'm gonna go do this, move some stuff. I prayed and I freaked out, and I had gotten some food since I was working. Both jobs were working too much, and I had bought the kids some economy bacon, some store brand lunch meat. I had what do you call it? Some food in the trying to figure out when I'm moving this. I had some food in the freezer. The stuff closer to the back is going to be older, but I had a steak that I had them split that was on clearance by Walmart or somewhere like that. I don't know. That was in the freezer. Someone had given us some potatoes. I don't know. I made most of them. I gotta check the dates for the fridge. I pulled out for me and my guinea pig some mango, and for my rabbit, I bought him through mail order some of his blueberries. We're out of bananas. I found some frozen strawberries in the freezer, and there should be blueberries. I usually try to keep blueberries in there as a backup item for me in case there isn't anything, in case the world ends and the stores, the highways shut up. And if that happens here in the wintertime, you think highways block up. Wintertime, ice storms at the gorge. So, and it might not be in my city. It might be coming from my city going over there. It might be coming from Idaho coming here. The forest fires last year. Hold on, I'm gonna make a tape box. The so-called earthquake that hasn't got here yet. So I give some of my money goes to a building, my clinic that's owned by Native American Indians, and what makes me mad is the people that oppress darker skinned people, and we feel like it's hard for us to make a living, but we hustle and we eat cheaper food and we get stressed and we get obese and then people get diabetes and they have dialysis and this and that. Like, why can't we just get the same jobs and same pay that you guys would when we have the same education experience and good background check? Like, why are we pushed into a corner and oppressed and taunted? So for me right now, it felt good cleaning. I started cleaning my daughter's couch. It was too hot in order to get. I was getting hot-headed and angry upstairs during the heat wave at 100 degrees. It was only 91 in my room. And I'm just like, oh, I'm always cold. Like right now, I'm really cold. I put my skirt back on because my phone was out in the car. I gotta put my shirt on and go to the east side. I'm still doing recycling, so I did a whole bunch of recycling before the inspection notice, and then some dishes, and then some laundry. That always gets done. But now, since we had the inspection, I'm like, oh crap, we gotta like shove this stuff. Like, you can't just say, oh, this paper, what is that? Okay, oh, this needs to be filed. Let me do it right now, or put it in a stack. It's like, no, they're walking down the street with an inspection or with a clipboard. You gotta throw everything under the bed again. So I gotta clean out under my bed. I told myself that I wasn't gonna put up with this. I called my social worker and was like, my kids are full-time students. My daughter's paying for her school stuff, paying for transportation. How my income is lower than the rent that you charge me, and if it's almost $1,600, that would mean 33% of that would, if you times it by 3, which would be less than 33% or less than 34, 35. It's more than 1,500, closer to getting close to 1,600, 3,000. Then they're gonna basically be thinking that we are earning 4,500 a month. You know what I would do if I was thinking, oh my God, what if we made 4,000 a month? We would just be on the borderline to get kicked out of this place for not being that far beyond. We'd be closer to the poverty line, still under poverty, but closer to poverty line. We would never be above poverty at 4,000 a month in this city. And I was like, oh my God. I might go to the store and buy something like toilet paper without having to buy it on the mail order for 50 cents a little cheaper. Like, I might buy you that mac and cheese without that coupon. You know, I'm like, oh, like, I still order mail order. That I would still do the mac and cheese coupons and stuff because I am going on $500,000 in debt. So I have a few dollars, a few change. I had a few bucks in change I had counted the other day, and I said, throw it at, do the debt snowball, throw it on your student loans, throw it on your student loans, and I'm not changing anything. I have 2 TVs that are from the 80s. The one downstairs is so heavy, I don't even think we'd have to hire someone to move it out. The guy moved it in. And we haven't moved our furniture. I haven't dusted under it because it's too heavy. It's a big tube. It's like this big. We have, I have an exercise bike that's from like 1968. This mirror is like, it's not even in the frame. It's all, you hear that tape? Everything is taped together. These beds are Montgomery Ward mattresses. I believe the model is set 60 something. Was the last? I looked at the last date that the model was made, and it was over 30 years ago, not 40 years ago. And they go in like this. I was wondering what happened to a bunch of my bedding, and it's all under there to try to keep it from completely like breaking my back. And I have 3 mattresses and box springs stacked up, and another one that these have holes in them. We need to pay $25 to have them removed, and we need to get rid of my daughter's old ones and my son's. And I thought that that the insurance would pay my chiropractor, and that if I got the injury settlement, like even if it was like $1,000 or so, I was like, I am going to buy some kind of mattress because I think ultimately that would help me heal so that I don't have to continue going for this stuff after the insurance money's gone, because you can't use your personal insurance to pay for car accident. They're going to charge you. So my chiropractor got paid, but I didn't really get anything, and my rent went up. So by the miracle of God, because I got a little bit of money, I was able to pay my rent after I got laid off and unemployment went out, and my rent was supposed to be 0, and it went up to that what I just told you. They should go back to the records and go back to the proof of income and the loss of job and give me a refund for 3 years, from 2016, 17, and 18, half of 2018. I should, because they're still counting income that I haven't received since 2014 and 2016. Different income, you can't keep on proving something that doesn't. It's ether. You can't see it. It might be there. You can't keep proving something that doesn't exist. You can't take a picture of this thing that doesn't exist. Oh, let me get a picture of my mom who died a long time ago. There's no way you can do it. It's expired. It's done. Cross it off. Cross it off. It's like, do you want me to put a picture of my mom in here and then give me a subsidy for 4 people instead of 3? Like, that's the logic they're using. And it's almost not a bad idea. Now, I don't want to summons any ghosts. So this is an anger video. I gained 12 to 13 pounds, partly because everything started falling apart everywhere. I don't know why, actually. And now the stress, I'm just like, don't eat. And then it's like, if you want to work, if you want to do your self-employment in your eBay, you're going to need to work. So I'm going to make a draft right now. And what am I going to do with the rent going so high? It's going to clean out my savings that this company was supposed, the city company was supposed to, anything over $200 was supposed to go to escrow for a home ownership program, which I was supposed to buy a house about 7 years ago. They are neglecting to. I did everything that I could do, and they screwed me over, let's just say. So I thought, oh, I'll save my pennies. You saw me have a little bit of change and not splurge on anything. You know, I'm working all these hours without breaks, and my socks keep getting holes in them. And I'm like, I need steel-toed socks. That's what I need. Like, I need soft ones. Like, because I'm spending money on, like, the underwear is wearing out, the socks are wearing out faster. Like, my weight is fluctuating, and my pants are all weird. Now I'm gonna have to buy fat person pants now because I'm so fat. It's like I don't, like, if I don't have enough money to eat all the time, but I'm still having to. I'm still having weight gain even if I'm drinking water all day because my stomach all week after work is grumbling. I said, I hope I don't have hypoglycemia on the freeway on the way home. I was so scared, like, and I was rationing all, like, I was taking 2 days to eat a banana, and I was sharing the banana with all of my animals. And so it's like I'm not trying to splurge. Like, this water, I don't know where it came from. Probably came from the car. Is I take a bunch of coupons and buy that for cheaper than it is to buy the liter. I buy this stupid stuff because it has the calcium and minerals in it. Because the car accident caused me severe spasming and other issues, and I use that as a medicine. And I hate buying it, but I would buy supplements. Supplements are super expensive though, but my body won't tolerate them. So I'm doing a cleanse today. I might stop the honey, but I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do about chocolate, cutting chocolate out of my diet, and that is gonna be. I have some green tea, and I hesitate to drink that. I could do a green tea cleanse. I have like 100 tea bags. I should not have got that from the free country. When I drink green tea, I got angry one day, and I was like, "Ooh, you don't do well with caffeine." And then the next time I drank it, I had said, "What happened to my other supervisor?" He said I was going to get promoted. And I had just found out 2 days later they had promoted someone else. Nobody left any notes after he left or before he left. And I wasn't going to say anything. I let God decide. And I drank green tea, and it's like, boom, no, you're going to do it too. Both of you will then. And I was scared. It was just in the right timing because we were getting right after that, maybe even the same day, a couple hours later, someone called. They had 2 openings. So they promoted somebody who, out of the blue, she was shocked. And then I was waiting for that promotion, and they promoted someone else. I think I don't know if that's the same person. They had some personal issues, and something happened weird, and they were like left, but they were already trained, and something. I don't know if it was that person. I don't know, but somebody called about that same position. Like, and I was like, if I had waited another day or another 2 hours, I would have not. So I'm trying to tell you, in all, like, I just want to make a video and be, my rent doubled. Is this even legal? I have less than 30 days. And, like, isn't it at least, I literally did think it was, like, 60 days. I thought you needed at least 2 months rent. Let's look it up. Anyways, I'm gonna do my eBay thing first. I don't even care. And then it's like, I want to cry. I told my daughter, I keep joking. I didn't tell her this. I keep joking about I'm going to buy this land in the desert and all this stuff. And I end up like, I end up like, hold on, gray. I don't want to drive. There's people driving like crazy, and I was going around the corner, and this guy parks his truck, a big truck, right on an intersection. It's like the worst place to park. You got to look for all the cars and all the pedestrians, all this stuff. And I turn, and usually I'll see a car coming. And it's dark, there's a lot of trees and stuff. And if I see a car coming, right when I go like this, I'll pull behind this guy's truck. But you're kind of dangling out into the street where there's another narrow street with, like, let's call them culverts, like ditches on the side, so no one could, like, someone would have to, like, stop and wait for you if you're sticking out into the street. And so I usually get behind this guy's car, wait for this guy to go, and I go. So I've been doing that for years. Today, a red car, which are not that easy to see, that was going really fast, and it was full of people, and it was going fast on this dark road. They didn't have any daytime running lights. I'm looking at this guy. He's waiting for me to go to the intersection. I turn, and it wasn't until I was next to the truck that this red car I see. So he must have flew around the corner. And he stops his car, and then he starts honking at me. And what sucks is 99% of the time I have pulled over and been like, oh yeah, you have the right of way. I say I hate when people cut across the road when they have a car to get behind. You're like, well, you should be the one to stop. And that guy shouldn't even park like that anyway. But sometimes you're in a hurry or you're like, oh, that I should just pull over and someone else is probably in a bigger hurry. But you think of who has the right of way. But when they're driving that fast, if the speed limit's 25, and if they were driving the speed limit, especially if they had daytime running lights, I would have seen them coming around the corner. So there's like a blind corner. It's not like a straight street where you can like see. And they were flying, so I didn't see them. And they were going so fast that I couldn't even get around the truck that fast. And they're honking their horns at me, and the other guy behind me who was waiting for me is also stuck. And so I just honked back, and I was just like, this fat guy was. I never like to talk about people's weight. I only say it now because I know I'm fat right now. So if I'm fat, I have the same exact sweater. 15 to 30 something dollars. That was the same exact one. Well, that's a size 19. This is a size 4. So I'm gonna go like this. Oh shoot, is this check? Okay. I'm gonna say, I don't know what they mean by check. I'm gonna say sell similar. Or sell one like this. So I am really conscious about looking first, because I get irritated. I do on others as I want them to do it. I get irritated when somebody takes the whole street to get around somebody when they probably should stop because it's their side of the street that's obstructed. But not that it's their fault, but it's definitely not worth a head-on collision. Because someone else might not see like a kid on a tricycle that you're swerving around, and then we're like slamming on our brakes and cars behind us. I don't know. You just kind of think of the cascade of events that could occur, but you think empathetically. I do. I shouldn't say you. So I'm gonna go back to let's see, I think it's size 8. I don't even know. I use the word. Somebody else's. I don't know why I'm saying this is somebody else's. It takes some of the what's a good condition. So we're gonna do. I only have so many hours in a day, and I personally do not want to poly blend inseam line. Let's say yes. Waste, I don't know. Number of pieces, 1. I don't know. China. Oh yes, this one's Czech, so let's see. So we're gonna say 212 office dress casual business blazer size 8. So it totally auto corrected my size to Sue's size 8 gray. I have like all these talking about who's right and who's wrong. Everything here is capitalized. I'm just gonna say women's. I should call the grocery store and tell them I'm not coming. I think they got the point. I would have been there right now. Yeah, I would have got the point. Mind, poly blend, button up. and collared. Two functioning. They're not sentences. Two functioning pockets with 3 buttons. Oh wait, did I say 2 buttons? Okay. Two functioning buttons with 2 buttons to close front, sleeve, accented, accented. How do you spell it? Accessory. Oh my god, I'm totally spacing out. Accented. I don't know how to spell it right now. Accented with 3 buttons each. I don't know if there's a pleat in the back. So I'm going to say, see photos for details. We'll have to go back. I'm going to go to the store even if there's, contact me with any questions. So I usually don't post new stuff, and I'm usually working every day. And I told the worker, I'm like, I have all these jobs, and they want you to be available during certain hours. They're all part-time. There's no vacation hours. So if your job gets canceled, and it's like there's an order in law that I don't know if this one company even follows that, or if I'm in the same category. It's really gray area, gray coat for sale. And in my mind, I'm like, I applied for a job that was either 12 midnight to 8 a.m. or 4 to 2. And I was going to go from that job, sleep in the parking lot, change uniform, and go to the next job. Like, that's what I was going to do because they keep making my rent obscenely large. And they refused to hire me because they said, you have too many jobs, you're going to call out sick, or you're going to go to one job or another. And it's like, they also say, if you want to work this one job, you got to be available more hours, and like, or more days, you know. And I just was like, I never really called in sick. Sometimes I wish I called in sick. So it's like companies talk about how do you do sick pay. I don't know. Never done it before. Like I'm like 40 something years old. I don't know. I wish I got sick pay. Like even a volunteer, I had like a procedure done, and I was like willing to make up the hours, and they kind of blew me off. And I really wanted to use my heart. I felt like I canceled that day so that I could heal myself enough to be able to drive to work when I needed to go to work a couple of days later. Because I was unable to drive after the procedure. So I thought, miss the volunteer position that I have to make up, or miss the income that will keep me from paying my rent. So you have to like make up your mind. I'm gonna go back to so you're gonna check it if you do anything with someone. I'm just gonna say $21. Best offer, automatically accept 19. That seems lame, but whatever. They can still haggle with me. 21 may not be high enough, but right now that's what's in my heart. I'm gonna say priority. I'll say that it's 1 to 2 pounds. I'm gonna offer free shipping, so I'm actually gonna raise the price up $2 because I'm like super paranoid that it's gonna cost like 13 bucks. I'll go back downstairs and weigh it, and after I get home, sometimes you put something up and it's like a steal, and you're like, oh shoot, I should have. But right now I'm gonna go to the store because that was on my mind. So I'm gonna pay shipping, which will, if it is a pound, it'll be 10 bucks. If it's a pound, it'll also be insured. If it's priority, if it's under a pound, then I need to change it fast. If you say it's a pound because you guessed, and then the guy buys it or the lady buys it tomorrow, and I weigh it and it's only 14 ounces, I'm like, oh god, I could have saved 7 bucks. But you don't. For me, I don't want to put it from priority when they buy it to first class because it's going to get there slower, and the algorithm is like some people, they just throw it up and they don't really have all that, and then when it comes down to being bought where it's going, then they compare all the fees For me, I do it. I haven't done UPS or FedEx partly because I haven't done fast shipping, and I'm not doing big and bulky. So we're gonna go. Okay, I went too long. We're gonna go to the gallery. I already took the pictures. There's a shadow. I was too lazy to open the blinds and turn the lights on. It's actually the pictures look kind of bad. I'm gonna put them up there anyway. I don't have proper lighting, so I have one. Click it. I want it stretched because I'm standing on that wobbly old bed in order to get these pictures on the wall. So here's one picture. Excuse me, upload. And I would like to try to get 12. I don't know how many I took. There's one on the front, and the angle is weird because I could see my head in the shadow, or my shadow. Okay, so if you have iPhone, I heard you can upload more than one picture. That's one. There's two, a little bit closer up for the torso. And I like to stretch it up. And I got this nasty looking hanger there, but you have to deal with it. So I have Cynthia dummy downstairs. We should clean her up. I haven't sold much, if anything, with my mannequin. I might do a photo shoot with Cynthia later, actually. Darling. I should clean out the kitchen table and totally do a photo shoot. And when my daughter comes home, she can. The thing is, my daughter, they keep bringing like chalkboards and dry erase boards and mannequins home, and then my daughter makes art projects out of them, and you're just like, okay, now we have a museum exhibit, and it looks cool and it looks awesome, and my little kid did it, and everything she's touching, unlike Midas, is turned into art project. And this is a pretzel, Pringles container. It was a Periscope, but she threw the inside part away, which is silver duct tape that was in there. I don't even know how she got that brass look. Like, it's kind of fun when you work and you come home and you're sad that you're away from your kids, but then you see what they're doing. Like, you see one time I came home, my kid didn't have anything to do. I don't know if it was duct tape or, okay, 1, 2, 3, I gotta count. I gotta keep my place. It was either duct tape or colored paper, and it was all over the downstairs. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, I need number 4. It's a close up a little bit of the tag, and I want to make sure I don't miss one. So we're doing a new item. I did a video the other day that I probably didn't post, and I pulled some of this stuff out. I have an Island Fisher dress, 100% wool online, one of my favorites. It's ready for a photo shoot. I gotta get rid of it. I don't know if I can hang it up from there. I have to take it somewhere else for the photo shoot. And then I have these two. I probably have more pairs of the olive drab cargo pants. I had like 5 or 6 pairs. I think I sold one pair. I don't even think I have most of them. I keep wanting to wear them, but they're usually too long. They're usually too long, and you step on them, they all mess up. It's like, oh, just wear them a couple more times. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to mess up in case I want to sell them. They're already getting messed up, and if you get grease or something on it. So I figure, they're already washed. Some of them are in these crates, and they're just not listed. So I'm pretty much, I don't feel like I have the energy to list 100 items, but I'm usually at work, and I felt like I'm doing a bad job at work because I'm so exhausted because I work every day. And my coworkers work one job, they go rest 2 to 3 days and come back to work. And even if they're grumpy or tired, even if they play video games, at least their body and their mind got to this veg. Whereas mine is like go, 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 and I feel like it's affecting the ability to work 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and do my best. And I want to do my best. I'm like a perfectionist. I was in the kitchen and I was like, you come home, you work twice as hard for yourself as you do for someone else. These these people aren't giving you vacation hours, they're not helping you, they're not allowing you to even train. Like, I'm not even getting trained properly, and they come and yell at you because you don't know what you're doing. It's like, well, because you didn't train me. Like, I asked for training. Training takes time, it takes hours, and manpower, and human power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is not the best picture. Everything should be completely white, like white bleach, bleach starch, right? That's just the bottom of, so they could see the style. And knock on wood that this doesn't time out before I was finished. Sometimes I just take before I couldn't do it, but I could take the pictures while I'm doing the draft. Like, just be like, okay, next click, next click. But I decided I needed to sit down and watch my movie, which I didn't do. I was watching this movie about the grain, The Secret of the Grain. No, I was like, they weren't calling it that. La grain, it la mule. Alright, we're going to be in picture number 10. So now I gotta see how many more I have left, because I'm going to run out. 11, 12. So I can only do 2 more pictures. So I'm going to do the sleeve. Oh, I need more. I need more for the 12. You have to pay more for that. I don't want to go to the store, guys. Oh, that was 10. Okay, so I have the back. I have room for 2 more. Okay, I have the back sleeve. I think I have the back. And then I wanted to get the one where you can see the lining. I also have one that shows the size and the tag. So I'll get one of the lining. And then I measured when you're by yourself, you gotta hold like your phone camera and staying on the bed and do this. Some people do flat lace, which would be easier. Some people you'll watch their videos and they'll have, so here's what it looks like from my phone point of view. It's like, so I wanted to do the one where it shows that I started measuring from here and worked my way down, but I only have room for 1 picture. So this one is, looks around 22 inches, and I was trying to hold everything in balance. So we'll play with that, because if anything, I can go back and look at my pictures if somebody asks. It would be better to measure the bust, the waist, and this and this. And if you are like me and you got to come up with a whole buttload of money for rent, you're just list it. And okay, returns are 1 business day handling, returns accepted. I haven't listed in so long, my auto stuff is kind of okay. Continue. And list. So they'll tell you right before you push list if you have to pay more for pictures, your insertion fees, any other fees. So sometimes when I bought the store, I thought that I would have a certain amount of auctions and stuff. Before, when I didn't have a store, I could pretty much put everything on auction if I wanted. And then all of a sudden I got the store and they're like, you gotta pay for your auction for clothing. And so I was really ticked off, because some stuff wasn't to insert even if you don't sell it. Some stuff wasn't selling, and I thought it would be nice. I have a couple of pair of pants here. I have my jean shorts. I was like, oh, I love those videos selling. I have this Nike AIG soccer coat. I don't want to sell it, but I have to pay rent, and I don't want to get rid of these receipts for work because they have the time stamp date on them. But I'm not going to do this again, especially when I have to work for other people and you're not able to keep up watching Sophia Margaret challenge, watching Rusty 78609. I even watched that lady, the Carolyn. There's a Carolyn Arby and there's another Carolyn. The one who's in the Pacific Northwest. She might have a storage, but you could see the difference for a van or RV or boondocker, a woman versus a man. Like, she had her clothes hanging out behind her while she's driving. Like, she had her cat that just, I don't know what happened to her cat. Versus, like, Rusty's like, got a dog, got rid of it. It's like he had the stuff, he gets it, gets rid of it. And I think sometimes for women it feels like you grow attached to it, you know the value of it, so you gotta take good care of it. And the guys are like, well, I make income, I'm going to use it while I need it, then I'm going to get rid of it and not have a bond to it as though like it's your baby. Like, I think even an object, I feel like women could have more of this, like, oh my god, like, take good care of this can. Like, my son could be like, oh, something's wrong with the can, just toss it, and he'd be like, I'm not going to sit up all night thinking I shouldn't have done that, and oh, I'm going to replace it, but I really like that was my first can, and my daughter, like I have all this attachment to stuff. We're getting rid of that. So we're going to get rid of every single thing that I can. I have some binder clips here. And some trash. So I'm frustrated because I keep filling these little bags up, and I'm like, this place is still a mess. And then I go check the mail, and this happened. And I'm like, why can't I just have my house get clean right away? And I'm going to have to send this. I'm going to have to send my daughters. Oh, they should have got that out fast. We're at photocopy on my daughter's thing. I can't believe I have to pull out a they're like, ow, you made more money this time, we should charge you more. I'm like, dude, like, you're not, like, this is a problem. I'm going to say this out loud. I will do stuff that's due, and I'll be like, oh my god, that's due. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm paying off this computer that you've been talking about. And I'm like, oh my god, I got another bill that I forgot, or it's automatically deducted out of my account. So I paid all these bills with my credit card, and I was like, oh crap. I was like, I'm getting this little bit of pocket change here and there, and these guys are throwing away their bottles. So I'm like, that's gonna be like, you know, up to $5 a week. I said, I'm going to pay up to $5 a week on my student loan. So I automatically put those all in, like $20 or $25 a month. Because the auto deduction turned to zero. And I was like, I'm going to snowball this. And then you're like, oh crap, I forgot all about those automatic payments, this and this and this. And if they're calculating your rent, it's like, we don't have cable, we don't have satellite. My kids don't have any new iPhone. My son has an old flip phone that we probably got for free. And it's like, well, you're calling every place the cheapest deal. We have to have internet for work and for the kids are students and they have to be online. And we don't have cable. We don't have fancy phone. I had the Samsung Galaxy S4 that replaces my Samsung Galaxy S2 that completely broke. And I drive a car that's from 2010, which is actually a new car for me. That's fancy. I'm used to 20 years old cars. I was going to keep this and put music on and play in the house and clean my own room because I'm never alone. And I got this at the Goodwill a while back. And the torso is too long, first of all. I don't know how, like, you can't, this is to be tied on your butt. And it's a Victoria's Secret size 34C. That's probably way too tight for me. Anyway, 34 is like, God, I'm chunky. I'm right one line below, I didn't do that. a little overweight on my Wii, so 100% raw food is. I should have put 2012 collections. I'm gonna say Victoria's Secret. What do you call it? French made. French made. Which was a pink, but I didn't want it to come up as pink. French made baby doll set. So here's one. Oh, it's a raw shirt apron. This one on different opposite color. This one is not. This one is like black. You only saw it for $6.12 plus shipping. So I don't see any pink. Not saying that there isn't any. Is this a costume? I was like, oh, I was gonna wear that to work. I thought it was just a regular clothes. I applied for a job to clean a hotel. I'm like, you think I'm playing? No, I can't. You think sometimes, this is similar, no, it's similar. You think sometimes you can just be an adult and go into your own space and just chill. Here's the same one. And here's another one. Wait, this one says polka dots. This has got to be the same one though. It's not polka dots. Does this look polka dot to you? No. Same one. I'm just see it. That's when I have to change the. So I'm gonna click on this. Cynthia, you're gonna be wearing this naughty Frenchman. Go down to sell one like this. And I'm gonna change the title to. Did I say 34B or 34C? I think I said C. I wouldn't have bought it if it was a B. I don't know where the. Oh, there's the polka dot. Maybe that's the brand. I don't see anything about naughty. I'm gonna change the words to lace. I think I just deleted the size. It's like backspace too much. Oops. Alright, so we're gonna go. Oh, I missed some of my title. Clothing, we're gonna see that. And we're gonna say pre-owned, gently used. And we're gonna go to get rid of 34. We're gonna change it to C. Broad sets. Let's see what else the choices are. I'm gonna call it. I don't know what a teddy is. I'm gonna call it a teddy. And then I'm gonna get rid of polka dot and just put lace. I'll say lace satin. Should I say lace with satin? I'll say lace. I'll say lace with satin. Okay. Material. I don't really care. I'm gonna do. This is gonna be a do the opposite as I did before since I'm sitting. I'm gonna do this as a draft and my stomach is growling. Nylon with the lining nylon spandex. So I'll say material. I'll say nylon. And alright, so I'm going to go into the description and I'll just say Victoria's Secret French maid. What is the word? Not chatty. What's another word besides that one? On a camisole. I'll say teddy, nighty. Oh god, costume. I'll say 34C. Poly blend. Poly ester. Poly blend. Poly blend. It's like auto saving some of my misspelled things. Poly blend. Lining. I'll say black tie. Black. What do you call it? Ribbon tie. Ties in black. Black ribbon ties in black. Torso is rather long. Alright, so I'll say see photos for deets. Contact me with any questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it at 25 bucks. Now nobody's selling this for 25 bucks that I can see. I'm going to click sub 21. I'm going to go to shipping. I'm just going to say that it weighs, I'll just say it weighs 6 ounces. Keep it under 10 by 8 by 4. I'll change it to 12 by 10. I might wrap it up in some tissue paper. Offer free shipping. So let's figure out $375 estimate. And then go back. And so basically I have automatic, I have returns accepted. So basically I need the pictures. So I'm going to save it. I was going to go take the pictures now, but I want to get going because I had to get back. And you can look through the other things. You're going to get, you didn't do that and say sell similar or whatever. And you're going to end up getting emails and are you still interested in this and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to put that away. And basically I didn't have my book with me earlier. That's okay. Oh, my stomach is growling. I said I wasn't going to eat nuts anymore because I'm freaking out. I ate nuts. And anyways, I'm going to go to the store. And I'm going to come back and record. So that was, oh my god, my rent doubled in 4 months. And it's not based on my income. And when they sent me a letter last week, they had not seen my daughter's income. And I said, oh, she's still 18. She's a full-time student. It shouldn't matter because she's been working for 3 years. And every year, every month that goes by, I was going to keep that. Excuse me, but whatever. I'm going to be living out of this suitcase for a week. I'm going to do a challenge. Every day that goes by, it's like, I end up, I think I'm going to use, I don't know if I want to use it. I think I'm going to use the bag my daughter gave me as my cosmetics bag. So it's going to have any makeup or what? I think that's too big. I have a small cosmetics bag. Oh, I have one in the bathroom. So I'm going to do, okay. So I know I changed the subject. So anyways, someone was telling me, yeah, until after they're 19. She's going to be 19 soon. Oh, that's probably they're waiting for her. But I would have had her not work so much if I didn't have 0 income. And my rent was ridiculously high. So they couldn't even give me a 1 month to keep looking for work or try to go to welfare or Goodwill or anything. So I went to school to be a doctor, and then you limit yourself when you're a naturopath of where you can work. If I could get a job in the hospital working 9 to 5 or 5 to 9 or whatever, would I do it? Probably. Would I do it right now, today? Probably not. Why? Because I don't quit jobs. If I was unemployed, would I do it? It depends. When I was applying for jobs and I was unemployed, or I was self-employed and unemployed, not earning any money, and able to be available, I was in a car accident, and I don't know if my body would have. I had accommodations letters, so that 9 to 5 shift may have been too much, but it would have been in my field, what I studied, and what I'm good at. And I told someone I suck at making pizzas. I was like, I'm gonna admit it. I didn't go to school for this. I was like, but I also when I was going to school for medicine and pre-medicine, I was also working in the cafeteria in food service since the 90s. So as far as someone who's worked in commercial kitchen, making tons of food for thousands of people, that's not something strange. It's just what is the shape that you're trying to make. So I feel really positive right now. Putting that one up was really good. I'm a really slow eBayer, but some people are like, even like you gotta post every day. That's the only way you're gonna make money. Same as YouTube, you gotta lift every day, post every day, and you can tweak stuff when your sales aren't going. And these people are making hundreds and $200,000 a year. They're saying net, and you end up thinking they're showing you what they're doing. It's a lot of hard work and determination. And a lot of those people have other people working for them, so they're not alone. But there's a guy that's determined to become a millionaire working alone, and I respect that guy's channel, and I watched him. And it's true, like, even the one guy is like, you gotta list every day. It's like, dude, you have that lady Vicky working 8-hour shifts, and the other guy on the weekend, and you're doing stuff on the side, and you're like scalping or selling or buying or whatever, and then it's like, they're like, even if you only do 1 or 2 a day. And so my commitment right now is to at least spend 3 days off chocolate. That will be available on Tuesday. Dwindle down my use of honey. And while I'm doing that, eat all the bee products I have stored in my fridge that are like ridiculously hoarding. And then reduce the olive oil intake, because that's just straight up calories, and my metabolism obviously went like flatline and went in the last literally 4 weeks, and in 28 to 31 days. And right now, I'm so sick of the stress of turning in papers and, oh my god, I have to charge this maximum rent and this and this and this. I'm so sick of it that I feel like you need to go for house rental or private house rental or different place or something. I went through this before, within the past year. Stayed up all night, got on wait lists, tried to get on reaches, this and this. I might have got some mail. I haven't got anything else. I don't know if I made it on the wait list or if that was a pre-application or information form. I didn't want to move to Hillsboro, Oregon, where we work and go to school right here, and my son's school is up the street, that direction. That's the farthest one away. And me and my daughter need to be up and down the street frequently, every single day. It's not even like, so you can live far away and come and be like, okay, we have 3 days to commute and the rest. I know people live out in the farmlands and they travel, but their kids also have cars and they're adults and they, have Priuses and they just make the rounds. I told myself that I was gonna take the money to pay for my daughter's rent, my daughter's portion of rent this month, September, October. That's an extra $1,200, not even including that little, oops, I forgot that our car insurance is doubled, and because there's 2 cars, and one's newer, and one is a child's car, who hasn't been licensed before, a new driver, and I said, I'm going to move in November. It's going to be the Thanksgiving gift to my family. My kids like it here. They like the location. Then you realize that because I didn't buy a house when I moved here, I tried. Believe you me, I was in whatever bank would have their doors unlocked. Because I didn't buy a house for $600 a month for a 2,000 square foot house with 1.5 or 2.5 bathrooms, 10 minutes from downtown in a quiet neighborhood, parks and sidewalks for dog walking. I ended up here, and the total rent was $1,000 something. That I think it was still a little outdated on the website. And what happened was they ended up penalizing us for only 2 kids. If I had anyone, a boyfriend and another child, my rent would would have been $550 lower, so they sent me a penalty. And they don't tell you this stuff. There's only 3 and 4 bedrooms here, and I got on wait list, so you pretty much need to take what's next on the wait list, because I've been on wait list for a place for years, and you don't want to say, oh no, let me just keep waiting for somewhere else, and you're going to live in your car. So you take what you need, what you can get, when you can get it, after waiting years on a wait list. So I told myself on the car ride home, I said, listen, buddy, I said, you know what you're going to do? You're going to buy something by October 31st, even if you're on, in Oregon, even if you're on eBay or some auction, October 31st, 2018, and I bid $1 on some piece of junk. It's like, I don't want anything with a lien on it. I buy some piece of junk. It's like, you're going to buy something. And I told my kid, I'd be willing to buy a vermin-free, mold-free, single-wide trailer on some land. I can't afford a trailer park, so it had to be on its own plot of land. And the only problem is, it's expensive out in the country. Someone goes, yeah, you know, that is something about land. It's like, I want to tell you something about land. There's one reason the price of land is so high, there's not much of it left. And it is crashing out. But it's like, oh, something smells good. I gotta get out of here. That's my goal. There's no way I could buy anything without paying cash because my debt is so high and my income's so low. There's no way. Um, if I could buy a place from $900 to $1,600 a month, see, that what I'm paying is just rent. I'm not talking about my clinic and car upkeep and food. It's like, if I could buy a place, I could pay you the money if I had to buy a place, even if I had to shut down my clinic or not work there and sublease another place. I'm in a contract right now until October or September. I need to look at that. Something told me to rent that place until your loan is expired, which might be when I retire. It might be after I retire because it's going to be my late 60s. I get like these guys that find good stuff, wear good stuff, and then sell good stuff. They buy and sell and use something, play a record, and sell it. I need to just do that. The thing with me right now is just getting out to the store, getting some nutrition, and stop being in panic mode. I'm really afraid, like, the 13-pound weight gain is really making me paranoid, considering I didn't change my diet and I was more active, drinking plenty of water and all that stuff, getting out because it's summer, doing little things at yard work and all of a sudden it's not muscle. Look at this flab. So I figured, I tell myself, even if you had to buy it, you have over 2 months to find a piece of land and purchase it. And that way, if they tell me in 2 more months that my rent's $3,000 and I'm sitting here with a suitcase and throwing it in, like, this suitcase is too big for the back of the car if there's 3 of us and 3 animals. So if I had to take that suitcase and put everything for me and the animals in that suitcase and go live in Walmart parking lot, like, if I had a piece of land that I've spent $5 at an auction for and had the deed drawn up in my name for 77 bucks and went and paid my yearly taxes in advance, at least I could throw my suitcase, the 2 vehicles we have, and the tent up. Like, at least we could do that. I'm going to change this to tomorrow. So I hate commitments. It's getting to the point where when you move in and you know you're going to medical school and you think, oh, I'm going to at least make minimum wage. I'm going to at least make $20,000 a year. Like, that would be sorry, but at least you could pay your rent. And then when you lose your job right after, you just get in the workforce and then get injured right before that, then it becomes like, then it's fighting words. And so I've been pondering when I knew that the rent was really high and I had the escrow home ownership program, I said, don't worry, I'll get that money back. Don't worry. But when they stole my money, I thought to myself, dang, and it's really fighting words. And I had signed up for some programs and all this stuff, and it's like I work 7 days a week around the clock. If I get home, choose something in the morning and go back to work by 8 a.m. Like leave at 7:30. That's not uncommon. And my income, I told my daughter, why is it I work all these weird hours, stay up all night, and then I still have no paycheck? Well, I had enough paycheck to pay $800 something a month. I was not eating much, wearing my daughter's old clothes, but at least we weren't homeless. So it's getting to be where Uncle Sam is going to be in charge in this country. Your jurisdiction and your county and your state and your city is going to be in charge. And then you have all the laws and the taxes. But I need to get out of this like near slavery. They're not honestly calculating things, and these people are they're fraudulent and they're abusive, and they'll talk to you and get in your face about what you're doing, and what you're doing is the best thing for your family, God inspired. And so, what I just said about cleaning and selling stuff and having energy and going to spend my last of my money on food, and then having the suitcase, it's like um, it's like you just feel like it's up to God. I can't do it on my own. Look where on my own got me. It kept me in poverty. So I have to trust my higher power to help us. And I was freaking my daughter out, and she's trying to make her schedule for school, and it's intense. She's taking like double class. I don't know why, because she's going to need a ride. So right now I'm at a point where I'm like, I might not be, I'm going to be having to look for, I applied for a job at the grocery store, the laundry. I'm about to reapply at those places, and I'm going to try to apply where I don't have to, where I could walk, because I'm not able to afford gas. And Oregon gas is $3.58 or something ridiculous, $3.30 per gallon. I don't know, $3.18 at the cheap place for a regular unleaded. So I'm maybe work. So what I gotta do, watch these old people to clean, declutter, men versus women. The biggest thing is everyone was happy with declutter and were around positive people, and that they were grateful with the health that they had for that day. There's no guarantee for tomorrow. Peace.